Go ahead and get started. So I appreciate y'all being here today, Mike, Pat, Cobb. So today we're having a workshop just to provide more information and clarity about the scholarship that we have available for CME students. So we'll have Mike here giving us information about how to access different scholarships available at CCP. And then we also wanted to have Pat on because there is a writing component to the CME scholarship. So we just wanted to have Pat on just to get you connected in case anybody needed assistance putting together any essays for scholarships. So I appreciate y'all for being here. And Mike, I'll turn things over to you for to introduce yourself and get started.
Okay. So I'm Mike Rice. I work in the Office of Institutional Advancement at the college. I handle all the scholarships that are for the college. So basically, we have our own foundation. Donors donate to our foundation. They set up scholarships with us. So we probably right now have over 100 scholarships. Usually we award each year between like $500,000 and $600,000 to students through these scholarships. And they're only for CCP students. So out of those 100 scholarships that we have, there was one specifically for CME members, which was started by Parks, and I'm sure some of you know, they've come to your S3 meetings and stuff like that. So as far as applying for these scholarships, there's only one application that you have to complete. It's an online scholarship application. You submit the one application, you're applying to all of our scholarships at the college. What our system does, then it matches you to each one that you'd be eligible for. So we actually award throughout the entire year. So the new application each year comes out in like the second week of July, and it expires on June 30th. But even during the summer, I'm still awarding out of last year's application as well as the New Year's application. So we're awarding throughout the entire year. Best time always is, when it comes out in July. But, certainly you can apply now. So on the application, first of all, to find it, all you would have to do is log into your MyCCP, click on Student Quick Links, and then click on Apply for Scholarships, and that'll take you directly to the application. On the application, there are some questions on there that kind of is how we connect you to certain scholarships. One of those questions is, are you a CME member? So if you click yes, that's going to push you into that pool of candidates for the CME scholarship. There is one general essay that every student has to write. Basically, it's just discuss your academic goals, your career goals, and any challenges that you faced pursuing your academics. I always tell students you can do a paragraph on each topic, and you're done. The essay is only 300 to 600 words. So it's not a huge essay, but I know that does discourage students. Another part of the application is each student has to have at least one letter of recommendation from a faculty member or counselor at the college. And you guys can certainly use your coaches as references. So basically what you would do is you put the person's name in the application and their email address. Once you submit it, an email automatically gets sent to that person. That person clicks on the link, it takes them in the system, they write your reference for you. There is also, for CME, there is another essay that once you submit it, will probably come up for you that you'd have to write, and it's specifically for CME. I'm just trying to pull up. So the essay is, CME members, if you wish to be considered for the Strong Men, Strong Lives, Strong Future Scholarship, please complete the essay by discussing how you give back to your community, college or neighborhood. So that's not, it's not a big essay either. That one's probably, a couple hundred, 300 words. But once you submit, not only are you, applying for the CME scholarship, but you're applying to all of our scholarships. If you are awarded, your tuition's paid off already, you're going to get that money back in a refund, and you can use that for anything. So your rent, food, it's going directly back to you. So even if you have financial aid, each year that you're here, you should submit the scholarship application. And just real quick, the criteria for the CME scholarship is basically that you're a member of CME, you have a minimum cumulative GPA of 2.5 or above, and you have at least 12 credits completed at the college, and that's it.
And we also will send out the flyer was texted, but I also emailed the flyer to everybody with the scholarship requirements. So I'll post that again, but we did send out the flyer that has all of the descriptions of the requirements for the scholarship.
Good. Yeah, and if anybody needs help with their application or anything like that, feel free to contact me. I can go over with you. I can help you out with it. Anything that that you need help with.
Yeah, Pat, could you make me the co-host, because I wanted to go over and show students how to log in to see how to access the different scholarships.
Yeah, just tell me how to do it.
Are you on a computer? It should be on, if you hover over my name, the 3 dots should pop up and it should say assign co-host.
Yep. Oh, wait, wrong one.
Oh yeah, I can share my screen now. Perfect. And can y'all see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You said log into your MyCCP.
Yeah, if you scroll down there, see for you, you'll see that student quick links. I'm not sure how the students, if you go there.
Should I go to the student tab or?
Yeah, I'm trying to think how it, you could go to your home because it should come up the same way for them. If you scroll down on that left there where it says student quick links,
okay.
I think it's like the 4th link then. Now it's like the 5th. Yeah, so apply for scholarships. You just click that, that'll take you right to it.
Okay, so you log into your MyCCP and then scroll down to student quick links and apply for scholarships.
Yep.
I see it might not, I'm not sure. Oh, it did pop up for me. Cool.
Yeah, so that comes up. Now, Patrick, if you ever have an issue with logging in, like if you get an email that asks for a student for you to write a reference for them, you might have an issue.
I got the issue. I did have an issue at first, but it was fixed, so I'm able to write the recommendation now.
All right, good. If you ever have, it's usually because when people at the college or professors try to log in, there's 2 tabs, one for applicants and one for references and reviewers. If you try to go through the applicant tab, it's going to think you're a student. So if you ever have anything like that, just email me.
Okay.
Let me know.
Got it. And I'll definitely, because I think I'll inquire, I'll definitely let Shane know if he has that issue.
Yeah, if there's any, because I have sometimes there's issues with that. So if there ever is, just let me know and I'll walk you through it to get through.
Okay.
But basically, if you scroll down that application, and these are all just, so it's like your name, your personal information. There's a section, like if you do community service, there's a few scholarships that require community service. If you don't do it, community service, you would just click no and then keep going through it. Work experience is on there. It doesn't matter if you work or not. We had one scholarship that required students to also be working. That's why it's on there. But for the most part, that it doesn't matter if you have work experience or not.
Right.
Same thing with volunteering and community service. This section, there's a few scholarships that require community service or volunteering. If you click no, you don't have to fill out the rest of that, because there is like a small essay, because we'd want to know what kind of volunteer work you do. But if you do volunteer work, make sure you fill that section out.
And then you were saying once they fill all of this information out, then it'll funnel them to the different scholarships they're eligible for?
So they don't even have to, so when they go to initially sign in, they can see a list of scholarships with the descriptions and what the criteria are. But for the most part, they don't have to, once they submit this, they're good to go. Because then the system just matches them, unless that there is a essay. So like for nursing students, there's a nursing essay. So if they were in nursing, they would want to write that essay. But that would be after they submit the initial application. Those kind of things will pop up. So like once they submit that, then they'll see the CME essay because they answered yes to the CME question on the application.
And this was just the flyer that we created for the scholarship that you should all had, just again with the requirements for this CME specific scholarship.
Yeah. Yep. It's a good flyer, man.
We got some good students put that together. I wish I could take credit for that one. I'm gonna say them twins gonna start charging us at some point for keep using their picture.
Hey, Mike, is there anything that students can do to kind of improve their chances to, get chosen for essays, for scholarships?
So the two most important parts, I would say. So for each scholarship, when we're ready to award it, I'll set up a committee. So the committee could be faculty, staff, even the donor of the scholarship. So the two important things are, GPA and everything like that's important, but if you have, if this requirement's a 2.5, so anybody who meets that's going to be in that pool of candidates. So even though the GPA is important, you're going to have students that have the similar GPAs. So the most important things are the essay and the references, because that's how the committee is going to get to know the student. So the one thing with your essay is, like, if you're discussing your career goals, make sure you expand on that and talk about like maybe something that happened in your life that made you want to go into that career or something like that. Because that's really the only, for the most part, we do have a few scholarships that we actually have interviews for in person, but for the most part, the committee members are just reading, the essays and the references, and that's how they're scoring the students. Some scholarships, we may have 100 candidates and 1 award. Some scholarships, we may have 10 candidates and 5 awards. So like CME, depending on, if 10 students apply, at least half of them are getting awarded. But yeah, definitely the essay and making sure that you expand on each topic so that the committee members can get to know you.
Thanks.
Yeah. Another thing is too, make sure that you monitor your references. So once you can go back into your scholarship application and you click on references, it will tell you if the person did it or not. You can also send them a reminder email. Because if I go, before I'm going to open up an application or a scholarship to go to committee, I have to go in and vet each application. And if letters of recommendation aren't done, then I have to take them out of consideration at that time. So that's another important thing. And always, I would say, talk to the person first before you put them on there. Want to make sure it's okay for you to use them. two, that they're aware that they're gonna be getting this email and to write a reference for you. So
And could a student use a reference from an employer?
no. So it has to be from CCP faculty member or counselor.
Okay.
And that's because scholarships are based off of academic merit. So we need references from somebody who knows how you are academically. Like I said, you only need just one. I mean, you can have two, but you just have to have one.
And Mike, how do you know when you get a reference from someone that person is qualified to give a reference for the CCP scholarship, that person is a faculty member? Do you just take their title at face value?
As a student or me?
Well, as a reviewer.
So I vet them first before they go out to committee. So I know if they're a CCP faculty member or not. So one of the questions on that reference form is, how do you know the student? And, the professor will say they were in my English 101 class, in the spring or something like that. For the most part now, I'm pretty good with knowing who's works here and like what office they're in. Just by doing this, I can kind of tell quickly. But yeah, that's so I always check that too to see that they are from here. But I get students that put their brothers, their parents, and it's not going to work for scholarships.
So did anybody?
I have a question.
Perfect.
Oh, so my question is, so since like I guess like since we're in this CME, can we talk about for community service for being a CME?
Yep.
Okay. All right, cool.
Yeah, so especially for that CME essay, basically it's how you give back to the community or at the college. So that whatever you do as far as volunteering with CME, just put it in there. But you can definitely put it also in that section that has the volunteering community service. Because, for instance, we have one scholarship, the CCP Spirit Scholarship. That's for students who are involved in volunteering at the college or involved in clubs at the college. So, Pat, is CME, is that considered a club by any chance?
They should list it for sure. I will list it.
Yeah, that's section 2 where it asks, because there is a section 2 about clubs and activities. I definitely put that in there too. Okay. Now that we awarded that for this year, so you don't have to this year, but definitely for next year when you apply again, because that award's usually awarded for the spring semester. Okay. But as far as like clubs, you can put that in there, and then any volunteer work that you do for CME, put that in there.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
And for you guys who are writing these essays, I am more than happy to help with those. That's one of the reasons I'm here. So please do be in touch with me about them, and I'm happy to do any work with you that we can do.
I know students see the essays and they kind of get put off by them. But I promise you, this one's not, like I said, it's only 300 words. You do 4 sentences on a topic, 3 topics, you're done. You could do it in, 20 minutes. I will say too, just be cognizant of your grammar, your capitalization, all that stuff. You may have professors that are on a committee who are going to take that into account. So no text speak on your essay or anything like that.
And definitely that's the good part to check with Pat. Send it to Pat. You can email it to him. Pat's always more than available to help. He's always willing to help. Send it to him, bounce some ideas off of it. He'll send it back and get you going right away. So
yes, absolutely. Thanks, Albert. I totally will be happy to do that. It's actually pretty fun to work on those essays.
Like if somebody say, "Hey, I'll give you $2,500 to write 300 words." I mean, like, why not? Like, it just sounds like a good deal if you get it. So,
And
my last freelance writing gig, I got paid $3. So that's a pretty good freelance writing gig for all you guys if you get that essay. So,
wow.
And I mean, and that's just one scholarship. You can be awarded multiple scholarships. I know a guy that used to be in Cme. He still works at the college. He had about 8 or 10 one year that he was awarded. So the money's out there. Even if I've seen it where students applied for 2 years, didn't get anything. Third year, multiple scholarships are awarded. So, even if you don't get anything the first year, don't let that deter you. Just every year, keep doing it. It helps you here. It helps you when you move on. I'm sure you have to write essays you're going to have to write them when you go to a 4-year institution. So it's if anything else, it's good practice anyway.
yeah, I like that point, Mike, too, because, when students apply onto the 4-year schools, especially like Temple's application is very similar to this process.
Yeah.
So yep. I've definitely sort of worked with students who have done the essay process through this CME Scholarship and then gone on to apply to Temple. And the whole process of doing the application, putting in the essay, putting in the requests for referrals and references is very similar to the Temple applications.
Yeah.
It's great practice.
Yep, definitely is. Yep.
And you could probably reuse those same essays that you use at TCP to apply for scholarships once you get to another institution, right? I mean, make a little adjustments, but you
you could probably always tweak it. I always tell students too each year to because you can use your same like each year for our application. It's the same essay each year, so you can use the same essay. But I always tell them to try to tweak it a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
Whatever you can do. So I'm sure everywhere else they're kind of similar, but you always want to tweak it before you do that.
I think that was the bulk of it. I'm just going to stop the recording now, just so.